Hey everybody, it's Josh. Welcome to the Landlord Harassment channel. So, today I'm going to talk about, I spent the last 4 or 5 videos talking about the stuff Haverkamp Properties and Brooke Farmer, the manager in particular, has done to me over the last year, and now they've hit me with the 7-day eviction notice, which expires on Monday, I believe. And then they're going to move forward with the eviction, which it's a frivolous eviction, so they're not going to win, but that's not the point. They just want to put me through it just to be putting me through it. Anyway, I'm going to get a little bit vulnerable today, and I'm going to talk about how this whole situation with Haverkamp is affecting me on the spiritual side, how it's affecting my inner spirituality. And I am not going to lie to you guys. It's very hard to maintain a positive spirituality right now. There's no point in the last year where I have felt comfortable and at peace in my own home. None. Since January of 2022 to now. And it's February 1st, or it's close to February 1st right now. Because Brooke has been harassing me, Brooke Farmer. And she's watching me like a hawk, and she seems to I don't want to sound weird here, but there are times when I look out my window and half expect Brooke to be standing there. Even if it's like 1 in the morning or something. I swear to God, there's times like that. There's times like that where I step outside and I half expect Brooke to be standing right there. Like looking into my windows or something. Now, some of you might say, hey, man, that's a little delusional, man. Like, what's up with that? Listen, I know she's not actually out there. But here's the thing. When someone has been messing with you, especially when it's your landlord, has been harassing you and looking for any reason to bother you for an entire year, and that same someone seems to know every move you make, a certain degree of paranoid thoughts does start entering your mind. Now, I'm not mentally ill, so I don't actually believe that Brooke is standing at my window right now, right? But in a sense, she is, because she's watching me as close as she can possibly watch me in order to, look for the next reason to write me up or threaten to evict me or give me an eviction notice or whatever. This person, Brooke Farmer, has an obsession with me. And I want to clarify again, so just so people know. When I say she has an obsession with me, I am not talking about a romantic obsession. That's where I know that some of you know that, but most people, when they hear a person is obsessed with another person, the romantic obsession is where their mind goes. This is not a romantic obsession. Brooke is not attracted to me. Thank God for that. But I almost wish it were a romantic obsession, because with a romantic obsession, you're at least given some degree of kindness some of the time, right? This is way worse than a romantic obsession. This is just a hateful obsession, really. I've got somebody in my life who has targeted me and made trouble for me any way she can for a year. And it seems to have come from nowhere. I can't describe the feeling to you. Like, I'm trying to figure out how to describe this. It's just a feeling like I can never be at ease. I can never be at ease. But the fact is that I have somebody who has an unhealthy obsession with me, an unhealthy obsession with causing trouble for me anyway. And unfortunately, that person happens to be a prominent landlord for one of the bigger real estate companies in Iowa and happens to run the complex that I live in. It's not a reality I want, but it's the reality that I have. And this has been my reality for over a year now. I consider myself a strong person. I've been through a lot and I've come out clean on the other side and so on and so forth. But something like this is really beating me down in a lot of ways. A lot of ways. It's just hard to, I'm just tired of being scared to come home because I'm scared that my locks are going to be changed when I come home, or there's going to be some notice on my door, or they're going to make up a story about me to call the police to try to have me arrested or something. Brooke Farmer has pulled so much stuff on me in the last year that it's always just a waiting game to wait for the next thing she decides to pull on me. But again, she seems to know every move I make. So she's hyper-focused on me. She pays attention to me in a way that she doesn't with any other tenant. Like I said, it's an obsession. Now, so yeah, this is really not good for my spiritual health. I'm going to make it through. But this is one of the more challenging things to my spiritual health that I've dealt with in the last probably, ever since I got off the streets, really. You know, I got off the streets in 2015. And you always have to be on edge when you're in the streets because it's the streets. So I would say since I've gotten off the streets, in the 8 years that I've been off the streets, this is probably the most challenging thing to my spiritual health that I have endured, and I'm still enduring. I don't see why I deserve any of this, but it's the reality I have, right? Now, with regard to Haverkamp and the eviction and me trying to file a lawsuit against him and all this, listen, Todd's truck has been here for 2 days in a row now, so I just know that him and Brooke are cooking up some kind of something that they can either use against me in court or make another move against me somehow. And whatever they're cooking up, because Todd's never here, and when he's here for like 10 minutes. The last time he was here for this long, I had a cop at my door the next day trying to intimidate me into deleting this YouTube channel. Now, the cop didn't act intimidating, but Haverkamp was hoping that the cop would be intimidating. But the cop didn't really want anything to do with this. He didn't even want to come to my house, really. You could see it in his body language. I've lost my train of thought here. What was I saying? Oh, okay, so Todd and Brooke are cooking up whatever they're cooking up. Whatever it is, I'm sure it's going to be meant to rattle me and put me in a state of shock and all that sort of stuff and make me afraid to fight. Either that or it's going to be a bunch of slander that they're saving for the courtroom. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I am actually scared. Haverkamp is a big company, and me taking them on the way I've decided to, me trying to sue them and all this and that. They are a big company with a really long reach in this town. Like I said, most of their executives and their higher-ups are elders at Cornerstone Church of Ames, which is a mega church, and they got a ton of business and connections in that, through there, a ton of legal connections through there, cops, judges, you name it. So I'm up against something a lot more powerful than I am, something a lot smarter than I am. And I'm trying to win a battle against them in a courtroom, and generally the most dishonest people win the courtroom battles, because courtroom battles are all about trickery and this and that. And I'm not a dishonest person, and I'm not very good at trickery, and I don't want to be. I'm an honest person. Even when I was a criminal, I was an honest person. I was what I was. But they have big, high-powered lawyers, and I don't, and they're going to use all manner of deception against me whenever I am finally able to bring a lawsuit against them. And probably even in this eviction hearing. So yeah, I'm scared. But here's the thing. A real man doesn't just fight when he's confident. A real man fights when he's scared too. A real man still fights when he's terrified. All right? Let's put this in a physical context. A real man doesn't just fight when his opponent is half his size. A real man's willing to fight that same fight when the guy is his own size or bigger. So I'm not going to back down just because I'm up against power structures that have more reach than me and can cause a lot of problems for me, and even in my personal life and so on and so forth. I know there's a lot of dirty tricks ahead for me that they're going to use their connections to play those tricks and so on and so forth. But I'm going to fight anyway. That's what a real man does, and there's a principle here. That's why I haven't moved out already. There's a principle here that when I've been pushed too far, it's time for me to fight back, and so it's time for me to fight back. Otherwise, I would have just moved out and given up already. But I hate bullies. I hate bullies. And Brooke Farmer is a bully, and she's not even a real bully. She would never bully anybody. If this were like back in the day when you could still have a fist fight without getting thrown in jail, she would never try to bully anybody at like her school, because she doesn't have the heart for that. But nowadays, when we live in this draconian society and the system protects you from any butt kicking you can get, and she's got a system behind her, she bullies people through that system. I happen to be one of those. That's who she is. And I hate bullies. And by the time I had decided to fight, I had already given her like a ton of chances to back up off of me. A ton of warnings that I ain't the one to be messing with. Now, guys, I don't want you to get the wrong idea. When I say that I'm in not so great spiritual health right now, I don't mean my spiritual health is failing. It's strong. I have a strong inner core that guides me in whatever I do. I have a strong code of ethics that guides me in whatever I do. But I can't lie to you and say that it's not extremely stressful and that I don't have cortisol shooting through my system 24/7, because I absolutely do. And I can't say to you that I haven't been paranoid that Brooke, like I said, sometimes I half expect Brooke to be, when I open my windows, I half expect Brooke to be standing out there just looking at my window. That's not a realistic thought, but when somebody's been messing with you the way Brooke has, and been messing with you as long as Brooke has with me, and someone has the power of like a landlord, it's just, those thoughts enter your mind. That's all I've got for you guys today. Will I make another video later tonight? I don't know if I feel like it. I'll make one tomorrow for sure. I don't know. That's all I got to say.